Hi, how you doing? I'm the Gamer Lad, and in today's video, we're trying something a little bit different here. It's a longer lore video, not a short, and because it's Halloween, thought we'd talk about something a little more on the spooky side, which is the Halo devices, and where they come from, the Halo stars. Before we get started, there isn't a whole bunch of lore to it, and the spooky stuff is more towards the end. I'm trying no face cam for this. Let me know what you think of the video. I mentioned the Halo stars and the Halo devices, so first off, no, not these Halo devices, more rings. Wait a minute. Not like a ring you wear, but before we get into Halo devices, let's talk about the region of space where they are found, the Halo stars. The Halo stars are in the northern area of the galaxy, or specifically the outer reaches of the Segmentum Obscurus. This section of space is largely unexplored and considered to be haunted by the Imperium. There have been many expeditions sent to explore this region of the galaxy, but few have ever returned from their expeditions. The danger could be from unknown horrors within the sector, but a very known danger is a warp disturbance known as the Halo Scar, which makes travel through it nearly impossible. It's called the Halo stars because all these old stars wrap around in a thin way to make the shape of a halo. There are two known worlds within the Halo stars of Sethalin and Exnilio, with the later containing the artifact known as the Breath of the Gods. The first planet of Sethalin was an ideal world for human life, temperate weather, and full of grass plains and lakes, and some very large stone monoliths. Besides the ominous monoliths, it was a great world. During the Great Crusade, the world was brought under imperial compliance. The natives of this world were primitive humans that struggled to communicate with the Imperium, but did not resist. 20 years after the planet was brought under compliance, it was discovered that there was rebellion and most of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Administratum elements were massacred on the world. This forced the 88th Company of the Warhounds to intervene. Quick note, the Warhounds were Angron's legion, or the ones that would later become World Eaters, so violent Space Marines. Back to the lore. Although the tribesmen were no match for the Space Marines, they showed no fear whilst fighting the Space Marines, until one moment. The native populace became instantly afraid once the Warhounds began toppling their stone monoliths. As the monoliths fell, the megafauna of the planet began to awaken. From the earth, giant creatures made of solid rock and stone began to rise. These giant stone creatures were known as the Carven. The Space Marines used heavy artillery to combat the Carven, but eventually it was decided that the world was a lost cause. The planet's resettlement shall not proceed. The risk of Carven infection deep within the world was too high. But instead of just abandoning the world, the 88th Company decided it would be better to remove the world from all future records. The order of Exterminatus was given. Their ships loaded their cyclonic torpedoes and launched them at the world, destroying it and its threat, history, and mysteries forever. Now we still have one planet we can talk about, Exnilio. On the Lexicanum website, there isn't any info on the planet. However, the device found on the planet, the Breath of the Gods, there is some info. The Breath of the Gods is an ancient Catan device that, using time manipulation, can take power from the past, present, and the future from one star all at the same time. A device of essentially unlimited power. It was even capable of creating a new solar system due to its time manipulation. This ability was also an extreme danger, if not used correctly, could just erase the entire timeline. So, a tech priest went looking for it. Magos Explorator Vedius Telok. Big name for even bigger ambitions. His expedition was declared lost and his mission to find the device a failure. But he actually succeeded, but went insane in the process. He intended to use it to scour Mars and Terra of all life, and then rule as the new emperor. Vedius Telok originally planned to use the technologies of the Noctis Labyrinth on Mars to control the device, but he discovered the entropic abilities of the Harud could have the same effect on the device. Side note, the Harud, or however you say it, are a Xenos race with chromatic and chronophagic abilities, or in short, can manipulate time through technology and biological means. To this end, Vedius experimented on a captive Harud colony on his personal foreworld of Exnilio. Telok would be thwarted by Archmagos Lexicanum and his crusade, the Kotov Crusade, as well with help from the Eldar craft world Bieltan, led by Bielena Farel. There's nothing on her on the Lexicanum. In short, Telok was slain by Kotov aboard the Arch Mechanicus Speranza. The semi-active Breath of Gods was torn to pieces without its leader in place to control it, and its Harud compliant were freed. Now, enough about the planets, let's talk about a prize found within the Halo stars. The Halo devices. These devices can have a variety of looks. Could be a ring, a piece of jewelry, a slab of metal, an armored pauldron. It can be almost anything. These devices are found on barren, dead worlds. Some may literally be just rocks, basically. Some may show signs of an ancient Xenos civilization. Either way, the worlds are dead and barren now. Many within the Imperium have tried to study these devices from the Inquisition to the AdMech. No one understands how these Halo devices work. These devices are highly heretical and condemned by the AdMech and the Order Xenos. The area around the Halo stars is heavily watched over for any signs of illegal trade of these devices. Even wars have been fought over these devices. Why would someone want these devices, you may ask? And great question. If you're a governor and could afford such an item and don't know about any of the downsides, you'd want to take it in a heartbeat. To live a longer life or to be biologically immortal, the Imperium has treatments and procedures, but they won't make you immortal. Following chaos may make you immortal, but is very dangerous and corrupting. Then you hear of the Halo device, a device that simply must be connected to you, and yes, it will meld to your body over time, but you will be immortal, you'll be younger with more energy, you'll heal quicker, no procedures and treatments that eventually will stop working, no cybernetics, no following dark gods, just place this ring, metal, whatever, on your skin and let it slowly work. Sounds like a much better option than previously mentioned, so what's the catch to it, because it is 40k? First, there are 3 phases to this device, and if you're a psyker or you worship chaos, this device will never work on you. I didn't know where to throw that in, so I'm doing it now. Continuing, now the device must stay touching a person, and over time it will bond to a person or meld to them, basically fusing the device to them. Once this is done, you're officially in the primary phase and there is no turning back. Once you're in the primary phase, the user will become rejuvenated to their peak youth and healthy. Any diseases and malformations will heal slowly, even missing limbs can heal, albeit painfully. As more time passes, their senses will become almost supernatural. They will move with an unnatural grace. They'll even be able to shrug off all but the most grievous of wounds. As the body changes, the user's minds will slowly begin to crumble, starting with everything they once enjoyed will no longer be enjoyable. It's as if everything in life has lost its luster. Over time, more paranoia and potential violent mood swings will begin to set in. They may even begin to hear a strange voice whispering to them from the darkness, the speaker never to be seen, forever in the shadow. Eventually, the user will no longer need sleep, except every few days, they'll go into a comatose state for a few hours. During those hours, the users will have vivid nightmares of alien vistas and strange cities beneath mysterious stars. Years later, the user will enter the secondary phase of the device. Around the device where it was bonded to the user, the flesh will begin to change, becoming mottled and tough like an exoskeleton, or desiccated and cold, almost like an embalmed corpse. The user will become inhumanly fast, strong, and resilient. The body will even be able to heal almost any damage. They will no longer need to eat, sleep, or drink normal sustenance. However, over time, the user will slip deeper into madness and develop strange addictions and insatiable hungers. If the user doesn't regularly indulge in these hungers and addictions, then they will grow increasingly unstable and sickly. And to clarify, not indulging in a sense makes them fall faster into madness, become sickly, and potentially even develop more addictions with an even more intense desire to satisfy them. Some of the recorded addictions are solitude in complete and utter darkness, complete immersion in solar radiation, and of course, a horror staple. And the hungers are not always, but often for things like human flesh. Of course, they had to have that trope. It couldn't be like chalk or something stupid, even though that could be a thing too. So from tanning to cannibal, there's a wide range of options the Halo device can cause. The user may lose chunks of their own memories, whilst memories of strange alien civilizations, languages, and scripts begin meshing with their own, as if it was their own memory. If the user is quote-unquote killed, but the body isn't destroyed or turned to ash, dismemberment, etc., then there's a chance the body can repair itself and then will reanimate. The resurrection will cause the user to become irrevocably insane and will immediately send them into the final phase of the device. The final phase, after years of contact, or if the user was resurrected, there's no separation between the Halo device and the user whatsoever. Their bodies are now forever altered in a humanoid state, but clearly no longer human. There are recorded instances of burning, radiant eyes, corpse-like flesh, distorted gaunt features, mottled or armored hide-like skin, and even a fine, beetle-like carapace. So, lots of potential mutations and all very odd. Now, whilst there are differences between users, there is one that is almost invariably there. Almost all users' fingers will transform into long talons of exposed bone as they grow more alien and grotesque. The personality and identity of the original user is destroyed, and in turn, an ancient alien intelligence takes its place. What was once a human is now a creature so strong it can casually rip a human in half, survive the cold, freezing touch of the void, and return from even death itself. If the creature is killed but the body is not destroyed, it will reanimate in a matter of days, and when it reanimates, it will awaken with insatiable hunger. There is a myth that is dismissed by many within the Order Xenos, but there are ancient tales of the device that state even if the body is burnt to ash or is rendered down to mangled bones, should the remains be immersed in human flesh and blood, whilst being exposed to high electrical current or radiation, there is a chance the creature will be resurrected, reforming in minutes from a maelstrom of blood and unnatural energies. Last notes before ending the video. There was one Halo device that actually was able to affect Psychers, but this video is getting too long, so I won't cover it here. But in short, it's called the Psycharis worm and affected Psychers, and it was actually amplified by the warp, and could even bring back the dead as warp puppets. But this is very odd for the Halo devices. There's more to the Halo stars. This is my knowledge mixed with the helpful Lexicanum for that extra detail and info. But there's a lot more details in the actual books and codexes. This is what I was able to gather. Before doing an outro, I just want to say thank you so much for 300 subscribers. I can't believe how fast the channel has grown, and I want to thank everyone who's been following along. I really appreciate you. And it's not just 300 on YouTube, we're over 300 on TikTok as well. So seriously, thank you so much who's been following along and enjoying the content. And there's a lot more to come, and just I'm so appreciative. Thank you all so much. And if you're watching this when it was coming out on Halloween, I hope you have a great and safe Halloween tonight. And if not, I hope you just have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.